Hi everyone. Hello. Welcome to my channel. This video is part 1 of a 3-part video series that I am doing to celebrate the Christmas season. I am doing one for the Christmas season, and I am also doing one for the Kwanzaa holiday season. In each episode, I will be having a book review where I review a book, for the Christmas episode. I'll be reviewing a book related to Christmas. I will also be reading some of the Christmas cards that I have received over the years and show you all of the pretty cards from all over the world that I have gotten. I'm also going to be sharing some of my Christmas memories, especially from childhood, and I will also be sharing with you my Christmas songs that I like, my favorite ones, and the wishes that I have for Christmas in comparison from when I was a child. I have decided to really embrace the season of Christmas. I didn't much before. I never thought of creating traditions, but in 2019, my father died on Christmas, so I want to basically use that day to celebrate him and create my own family traditions. I actually have his urn. It's a beautiful angel, and I have it sitting on my desk so he can also hear the Christmas story along with you. I have my little reading buddy, my Christmas elf, which I have not named, and she will sit right here as I share this holiday story with you. So, as I said, the beginning of each episode is going to be a book review, and the book that I will be reviewing for you is a holiday classic. It is The Shoemaker and the Elves, or The Elves and the Shoemaker, and this story was rewritten by Margaret Mortensen and illustrated by Amy Barrett. I saw this book while I was looking for, more children's books at the thrift store, and I noticed that it has such an interesting cover. When I flipped through it, I actually realized that all of the characters in this book were people of color. And that's what made it very, very special for me. I tried to find more information about the author, the illustrator, and the publishing company, and this was one of the few books where I really couldn't find anything. I could barely find anything on the author, except for another author who died before this book was published. I also couldn't find much on the illustrator, I guess because her name is too common. And the publishing company, I believe, does not exist anymore, but they did have some type of reading series for children. It is the Waterford Institute Electronic Education. This book was published in the year 2000, so it is 21 years old, almost 22 years old. Yet, it is still beautifully illustrated and beautifully written. So, let us get into the book review. The story begins. It is about a man named Jonas Cobbler, and Jonas has a very beautiful wife who is very sick. Jonas is a shoemaker, and it states that he lived on the first floor of a 3-story red brick building in a big city. And when they say red brick, I automatically think of St. Louis because a lot of our buildings are made of red brick. So in my mind, he's in St. Louis. It says the tiny sign, Shoemaker, could barely be seen. The window was usually filled with Jonas's carefully crafted shoes, but lately the window was often empty. Jonas's dear wife Rose had been sick, and after paying for the doctor and the medicine, there wasn't enough money left for leather to make many shoes. I think that's very sad, but it's very sweet. This reminds me of my godfather. When his wife was dying of brain cancer, he said she was such a good wife that I'm going to buy her everything that she ever wanted, because he had basically spent all his money on doctors and stuff. I'm going to buy her everything she ever wanted, even if I end up homeless on the street. And he bought her everything, and he did end up homeless on the street. And he said, I would do it all over again. I wouldn't change anything. So very sweet of Jonas to do that for his wife. It says, late one night, Jonas cut his last pieces of leather to make a pair of brown and white Oxfords. He was very tired, but he had to finish them because the mayor was coming in the morning to look for some shoes. Jonas stretched and yawned. I don't know what medium the artist used, but very, very talented. Look at these shoes, dang. Which pair do I want? I want, let me see, I want that one. I want this one because I definitely wear shoes like this. This one. I don't wear sandals at all. Like, you'll never see my toes ever. And this one, possibly that one if they were red. If these were red, yes. But I would definitely, on a daily basis, wear these type. So Jonas is hard at work. Look at him. He's a working man, which you really can't find that much these days. But he's working to provide for his wife, and he unfortunately falls asleep while he's working on these important shoes for the mayor. It says he put his head down on the workbench, thinking he might rest his eyes for just a moment. You close your eyes for 2 seconds, and you know how much time has passed? 12 days. That's what happened. The morning sun was just peeping through the window when Jonas woke with a start and rubbed his eyes. Look at this. This is a creepy looking sun, but I'm loving it. This kind of reminds me of a bracelet I have of the sun. He's like, hey, Jonas, wake up. It's morning time. So, when he wakes up, what does he see? He sees a fine new pair of brown and white Oxfords, shining early in the morning light. Every stitch was straight and tight. Man, I wish I could just wake up and all my projects were done. I wish I could just start a painting, fall asleep, and then wake up and it was done. You know how productive I would be? That's why I need a virtual assistant or something. Rosie, Rosie, come here quick, he called. Rose hurried into the room, yawning and brushing her hair. Look, during the night, someone finished my shoes. Wow, his wife is beautiful. Hey, Rose. I'm loving her style. I love looking at art of Black people during certain periods of time, like the 1940s, the 60s, ancient Africa, and different things. I really like the costumes, but I love the clothing during this period. Maybe because I would wear something like this, and I probably would literally dress exactly like she would if I was in that age. So Rose is very confused. She's like, wow, who was so nice to give us these shoes? She touched the stitches and admired the shine and carefully placed them in the window. Soon the little bell over the door jingled as the dapper mayor strode into the shop. Say, Jonas, said the mayor in his usual loud voice, I want to try on those fancy shoes you have in the window. And look, the mayor is Black too. Oh, see, I'm loving this book already. That's why I'm kind of frustrated. I couldn't find anything on the Illustrator because I actually want to see more of her work. Oh, I didn't even notice his clothes right here. Hey, look at you, Mayor. Oh, I see you. Okay. And Rose pinned up her hair because she's a shop lady. Okay. He put them on and tied them. He said, I've never seen any so fine. And he looked in the mirror. He paid handsomely for them. Then he left, proudly wearing his shoes. With the extra money, Jonas was able to buy enough shiny red leather for 2 pairs of high-heeled shoes. He cut them out carefully that night and began to stitch and tap. I'm liking this because whoever is helping him is increasing his cash flow. I like it because this really shows, like, you teach a man to fish or you invest in somebody that's already hardworking and you will get a return on your profit. Like these people or whoever's helping him, they know that he's a hard worker. It's not like they're giving their efforts to somebody who isn't going to appreciate it, or somebody who isn't going to make something of it. There's so many people that are like, oh, here's a scholarship, and they never further on their dreams. There's people who are like, okay, I'm gonna give you startup money for your business, and they never go anywhere. So I think whoever did this selected a very good candidate, because he already has the qualities of a hard worker to provide for his family. But before long, his eyelids grew heavy, so he put his head down to rest for a minute. Oh, there you go, asleep again, Jonas. Suddenly, the morning light woke him up. And once again, there's some shoes. And these are a beautiful pair of shoes. Wish I could wear them. And they're in one of my favorite colors, red. I would wear red high heels. He laughed and danced around, holding the two stylish pairs of high-heeled shoes. He placed them on display in the sunny window. That day, two young ladies in very fine clothes bought the new shiny red shoes and wore them as they left the shop. Hello, Fancy. Oh, look at her. Look at her hat. Oh, I see. Chortle, chortle, chortle. So, because he's selling more shoes, he has more money to buy more things to create more shoes with. So he has money to buy shiny, supple black leather, and he makes 4 pairs of boots. Once again, there's more boots in the morning, and so the more he gets, the more his customers increase. People coming, they're like, oh my God, what is that? Oh, I have to get it. So his money is increasing. I feel that this book also could be associated with Kwanzaa, with the principles of Ujamaa, cooperative economics, Umoja, unity, and Ujima, collective work and responsibility. This book embodies those 3 principles primarily. So, all over the city, they're coming to Jonas's store. So his store window was empty, and now it is full of shoes. So one day, Rose gets an idea. One day, Rose stood in the doorway looking thoughtful. Jonas, let's watch tonight and see who makes all these beautiful shoes. There's Rose. She looks beautiful. I wonder if they used a model for her. She's so pretty. He's so handsome, too. So that night, the couple goes downstairs and peeks through the crack in the hall doorway to see who's making these shoes. And it says, to their great surprise, they saw 2 happy little elves bent over the shoes, tapping and sewing. As they worked, they sang, work is easy if we share. Work is easy if we care. Work is fun for everyone. We work together and get it done. Well, doesn't that sound like the principle of Ujima? Collective work and responsibility. And look at these elves. Even the elves are black. This one got a little gap. Hey. And this one is like, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody we're making these shoes. And they're over here just working and measuring. Jonas, whispered Rose, those tiny elves have been sewing for you each night. But look, they're dressed in rags. Jonas and Rose tiptoed up the stairs. We must show them how grateful we are. Let's make something nice and warm for them to wear. All the next day, Rose cut and sewed. She fashioned the tiniest little suits you can imagine, vests and coats and trousers, even little felt fedora hats. And Jonas made the elves some shiny brown leather shoes. Just before midnight, they carefully laid the outfits on the work table. Then they hid behind the door. Look at this. These are some nice clothes. Hey. And shoot, that's some fancy work. You gotta make these tiny little clothes. You're a good seamstress, lady. As the clock struck 12, the little elves entered. They looked all around the leather to make shoes. When they saw the new clothes, they held them up curiously. They then tried them on. To their delight, everything fit just right. They giggled and danced around and admired each other in the mirror. Then the little elves danced out the door and never returned. So their work is done. Look at them. They look so cute. People still come from all over the city to buy the fine shoes from the tiny shop, and now, while the shoemaker and his wife are tapping and stitching, you can hear them sing. Work is easy if we share. Work is easy if we care. Work is fun for everyone. We work together and get it done. So yeah, this book you can actually get on Amazon. I would get it now if, because sometimes they go out of print with books and you just can't get them again. So I'm actually lucky to have found this one. I don't know who gave it away, but thank you, person. I really like it. I'll be sure to read it to my future children. So that is the end of the book review. Next thing that I will be doing is sharing with you maybe 1 or 2 Christmas cards that I have gotten over the years. I always keep every card and letter I get that's written to me from someone. I actually have letters from when I was 11 and 12. I have pen pals from all over the world. So I have all of their letters from Ghana, Australia, Germany, all of that. But I decided to have a special bin specifically for Christmas cards. And I have a Norman Rockwell tin where I keep all of my little Christmas cards. In here, I pulled out two or three Christmas cards for you today. So the first one is from a person named Irvant, and they are in New York. They sent me a bookmark with this Christmas card. It's something about the library, but it's the Bodleian Oath. On seeking admission to the Bodleian libraries, every reader is required to repeat aloud this traditional declaration. So let's see what this declaration says, because I didn't catch this the first time. I hereby undertake not to remove from the library or to mark, deface, or injure in any way any volume, document, or other object belonging to it or its custody, not to bring into the library or kindle therein any fire or flame, and not to smoke in the library. And I promise to obey all the rules of the library. Look. This is coming from this person that worked in the library. I wish we could have gotten our patrons to read this. You know how many things I've seen in the library? Saw a man throw 36 books over the circulation desk. There was a little girl that mooned us. She just mooned us up against the window. Fights in the library, it got wild. And then this whole thing about smoking, we had drugs in the library. So I think that was kind of cute, and I'm actually going to use that as a future bookmark. But this is what they sent me. This is what the card looks like, and it is from Ashmolean. It's the Museum of Art and Archaeology in the University of Oxford, and the cut is a wood engraving by Robert Gibbings, and it's called Dublin Under Snow. This is what they shoot. Wish you could see it. This is their little handwriting. This card is from 2019. Dear Kiara, wishing you happy holidays full of good cheer and good books, and a new year full of wonderful reading adventures. I hope you enjoyed this bookmark from the Bodleian Library in Oxford, where I'm a doctoral student. With all best wishes, Yervant. Now, I got this from a library thing, I had a account on there, and every year they do a holiday card swap. I've already mailed off 1 holiday card, but I need to mail off 9 more, so yeah. This one right here is Merry and Bright Holiday Wishes from Idaho. Happy Holidays from Ohio, Iowa, Idaho. And this is from Michael. And at the top is a little photograph, so I guess he made this card himself. It says, Boise is the first place I have lived where you can look out your window and see mountains. Okay, foothills. I'm living downtown. For the haters, Boise does actually have a downtown. I know what you are thinking of, Idaho, but that's just the ex-LAPDs that live in the north. The South, which has the most of the population, is more reasonable, if not radical left. Here is downtown from my window, state capital to the right. These people are so funny. I love getting cards. I need to get a P.O. box for this channel so I can get cards from people. The last card is from Australia. And look, it has alligators, koalas. Proudly Australian made, so the card was actually made in Australia too. It says, Dear Kiara, warmest Christmas wishes to you from afar. And it's from a person named Faye. Her handwriting is kind of hard to read, but I'll try. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a joyous New Year. May 2020 be a year filled with joy, reads, family, friends, books, time to read the books, travel, something classic, so I guess it's more reading, wonderful moments, sweet surprises, and love for you. My warmest wishes always. Hey! Well, I guess I did get love maybe at the beginning of 2021. So yeah, those are a few of the holiday cards that I wanted to share with you. And of course, in later videos, I will share more of the cards with you. Next on the list are my favorite Christmas memories. So I will share maybe 1 or 2 memories with you. Every Christmas, or every time around Christmas time, I would spend most of my childhood singing. I was in choir, I was in St. Louis Children's Choir, and we would perform at Powell Hall every single year. And if you don't know what Powell Hall is, it's a symphony hall in St. Louis. It was always very, very beautiful. I had to post some pictures from Christmas at the end of this book of Powell Hall. But we would sing there for our holiday concert, and I always looked forward to it. Over the course of the years, we would sing songs in different languages. We would sing songs for Christmas, Kwanzaa, and Hanukkah, and other things related to winter. Sometimes we would dance. My very, very favorite memory from Powell Hall was one year we did, what was it? This person, it was this lady, I want to say she was from Ireland. She composed, or she created this piece called No Leg, and I literally cannot find it on the internet. I've looked everywhere. I guess I have to get the actual CD from the St. Louis Children's Choir. But only one choir had performed it before us. And that year, it was also, well, we always perform with the symphony. But that year we had a dancer across stage. We were singing in Gaelic. And Gaelic, how it sounds, literally does not look how it reads. So one thing that said chub, it was Evisko Huden Nolikyan Haroji Dowdy on, or something like that. So we were singing that, we were singing other songs in Old English, and I think that was my very favorite concert because the symphony sounded so beautiful, and the dancer, she was doing dancing, and we were singing, and everybody was just filled with tears. Like every year they do that. The memories of Powell Hall, you'd see the chandeliers, everything was just red carpet and golden and had holly and ivy, and at the end you would get roses and have the program and everything. And it was all of the choirs together, from the little children all the way to the alumni. So it was always a very beautiful memory. And the only year I went back as an adult was 2019 for the holiday concert, which ironically was the Christmas my father died. So I'll always remember that holiday season as just a very special December for me. So that is one Christmas memory. Another Christmas memory is when I was a child, I went to a church school. Actually, I went to a church school from like first grade all the way through maybe ninth grade. And my first school went from preschool through 12th grade. It was a mega church. Now that I look back on it, it was kind of cultish. It did have some problems with diversity. But overall, even though I had like racism there sometimes and just kind of cult-like behavior, I had most of my best memories at that church, which was also the school I attended. So every year, the church would have a Christmas play, and they would bring live animals to the Christmas play. So they had, I don't know, no, it wasn't an elephant. They brought a camel. They brought live camels, live donkeys, just live animals into the church sanctuary. And I thought that was so cool because that was the only time I ever had seen a camel in real life. Just imagine you're in church and there's a camel walking down the aisle. I did not realize they were so big. But yeah, that's something I'll always remember from my childhood. And hopefully my future Christmases will be just as fun. Whenever I have children, I can make new Christmas memories for them. Next thing is my favorite Christmas songs. Some people are like, oh, I like this song, I like that song. I like songs that aren't like considered Christmas classics, but I still associate them with Christmas. The first song I love is The Same Old Lang Syne by Dan Fogelberg. I love Dan Fogelberg's music. It's very lengthy, but I love that song. And as a teenager, it would always make me cry. Where he basically meets his ex-girlfriend in the grocery store. They haven't seen each other in years. So I really love that song because I just love Dan Fogelberg. The next Christmas song I love is Last Christmas by Wham. You notice there's a trend of heartbreak with each of these, but oh well. I love that song. I love the tune. I love the lyrics. It's so beautiful. I also like Breath of Heaven by Amy Grant, which tells about Mary's perspective of being pregnant. I enjoy War is Over by John Lennon. I do not like the song Silent Night. The only Silent Night that I will accept is by The Temptations, whose entire album I love. Like that's the only Silent Night I will accept. I also hate Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but I'll accept the Temptations version. I also dislike The Little Drummer Boy, but the only version I will take is the Bing Crosby, David Bowie version. I love that song. I also do enjoy classical Christmas songs, not Silent Night, obviously, not Jingle Bells. I love Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella, Oh Holy Night, and The Holly and the Ivy. And yeah, that's how I feel about that. So thank you all for watching this video. I'm not going to make it too long. I'll try to keep them at a consistent length. But stay tuned for the next episode. And at the end of the video, I'm just going to show you some pictures from, choir and different Christmas things. So have a nice night and happy holidays and happy reading.